President Biden paying LA a visit. The big announcement he made that should offer some financial relief to thousands of people. Plus, how emojis can help you or someone in your family out of a jam. Hello, everyone. You're watching The Rundown. I'm Robin Winston. The Biden administration is canceling $1.2 billion in student debt. That's expected to offer major relief for more than 150,000 borrowers. The president made the announcement Wednesday at the Culver City Library. To be eligible, you must be enrolled in the SAVE repayment plan, have made payments for at least 10 years, and originally took out more than $12,000 or less. The White House says debt cancellations will start this week. In the wake of the rain we just had, part of a hillside collapsed in Torrance. One road in the Valmont neighborhood could be closed for up to 6 months because of a sliding hill. Photos from neighbors show how much mud and debris slid onto the roads and into yards.
If one of their houses give up and slides down, we're done. But
if you drove around, you would see my hillside's tarp. So, I mean, of course, we're all worried about it. But at this point, you tarp and you just, fingers crossed.
Right now, there are no homes in that area under evacuation orders. We know you're seeing a lot of potholes out there in the 2 weeks leading up to this week's storm. The city of LA says it repaired more than 4,000 potholes, and over the last few days, there have been more than 150 reports of trees and branches down in LA, 63 reports of debris or mud flows, and more than 45,000 LA DWP customers lost power. This month's rain is surely helping with our water supply. The state says it is now streamlining water capture projects to take advantage of the showers. Well, it's outlined plans to make it happen, and state authorities are capturing 95% of stormwater runoff. Nearly $1 billion has also been spent to support 13 projects that will add more than 28 million gallons to the state's water supplies each year, and the state has also expanded its rainwater storage by 358 billion gallons. Executive orders and continued legislation have allowed these plans to move forward. You can put your rain boots and your umbrellas away for now. Meteorologist Belen De Leon is tracking sunshine and warmer temperatures.
Hey, Robin. Before I get into the forecast, I'm sure folks are curious where we are so far when it comes to our rain. You know, our seasonal average is 14.25, but here we are February. We've already gotten close to 18 inches. Around this time of year, we should be closer to 9 inches. So we already received a surplus of almost 8 inches. Now, the weather is drying out for a few days. Here's what you can expect. We're going to be rain-free and actually warmer through Friday. Over the weekend, still staying rain-free, but clouds will be increasing, and that's because we're tracking the next storm system early next week. So don't need the umbrellas yet. Look at the temperature trend. We're headed for 70s on Friday. Then over the weekend, you see the temperatures cooling as the clouds move in. Then on Monday, that's when we have a good chance for some rain. Temperatures at that point 57, with rain lingering possibly through Tuesday.
An investigation is underway into the death of a 3-year-old boy in Lancaster. Police say when they arrived at the scene late Tuesday night, they found a 3-year-old boy with a laceration on his body. He was taken to the hospital where he died. Another man was also found at the scene with a stab wound, but he's expected to survive.
It's usually a very quiet neighborhood. We haven't never had anything like this happen. I've been here for about 15 years now, and it's shocking. It'd be interesting to find out the details on what could have happened, but yeah, it's just sad.
Police say the parents were home at the time and are being questioned. A man arrested in Minnesota is expected to be extradited to LA to face murder charges in the death of a model whose body was found stuffed in a refrigerator. Melissa Mooney was found dead in her apartment back in September doing a welfare check at the request of her mother. Shortly before her death, surveillance video shows her with a man in an elevator. 31-year-old Magnus Daniel Humphrey was already on probation for federal drug charges when he was arrested. A pursuit near Rancho Cucamonga ended Wednesday night with a big rig on fire on the freeway. But even those massive flames didn't stop the driver from trying to get away. In fact, it just led to a whole new pursuit.
Finally pulling over here. Of course, the big rig's on fire, and he's going to park next to the brush. Why wouldn't he? This is going to catch that hill on fire, too.
From News Stopper 4, you can actually see the driver take off running at first through the bushes and then into a Rancho Cucamonga neighborhood. CHP tells us the big rig was stolen out of a gas station in Bakersfield. Officers used a spike strip to blow out the front two tires near Upland, but the driver just continued eastbound on the 210 freeway with sparks flying. And here's how it all ended. NBC4 photojournalist Alex Vasquez was there as the driver was finally caught and put in handcuffs at a nearby apartment complex. Many of us put a good chunk of our savings into buying a house, so just imagine how you'd feel if your down payment just disappeared because of fraudsters stealing it. It's an emotionally and financially devastating scam, and the I-Team's Carolyn Johnson learned it's on the rise.
2 years ago, Pat and Marisa Lawler looked at 50 homes for sale. The market was tight and interest rates were low. They were outbid 3 times. So the Lawlers were relieved when they finally snagged a house in West Hills.
It was very difficult. It was challenging. It was a seller's market, and we were buyers. Not much inventory to choose from.
The escrow process went through without a hitch until the very end.
It's like shock, like psychologically your brain is protecting yourself from the trauma of what's going on right there.
Pat received wire instructions for the down payment in an email that appeared to be from the escrow agent. So he wired the money, $160,000. And then a few days later,
I received an email from my escrow officer, clear to close. We're all set here. Just need your down payment.
But the Lawlers' money was gone. The email that appeared to be from the escrow company wasn't. Instead, it was from a scammer with an email signature exactly the same as previous emails and a friendly note that addressed Pat by name.
We were just trusting the process as we were told to do.
We see this happening a lot.
Dr. Clifford Newman is a computer systems security expert at USC. He says the scammers likely breached the escrow company's email system.
So there are a lot of vectors that an adversary could use to get their way into the email system of a small company. That might have been because an employee of theirs did something that allowed the adversary to get in. It could also be that the system itself was breached.
It's called business email compromise, and the I-Team learned it's a huge problem. According to FBI data, money lost to these scams, which includes down payment wire transfers, has skyrocketed over the past several years. In 2022, victims lost $3 billion. Escrow companies are required to report fraud to the state, but that does little to help victims. The money is long gone. Many escrow companies carry errors and omissions insurance, but that doesn't cover wire fraud. The I-Team reached out to the Lawlers escrow company, Jade Escrow in Temple City. They didn't return our emails or phone calls.
You just have to be careful. Beyond careful.
The Lawlers considered suing Jade Escrow, but they didn't have the money. The scammers robbed them of their life savings. In the end, they got the house only because they borrowed the money from a family member, putting them deeper in debt.
I think the mindset, there's a prevailing mindset that this is some sort of abstract thing that happens out there sometimes to some people, but it's not. It's a real thing that happens to real people, and it's devastating.
So here are some tips when you're conducting financial transactions. Confirm wire instructions verbally with someone you've been working with. Do not rely on information from an email. If you're told in an email to call for wire instructions, be sure you're calling a number that you know or have been using. Never email financial information. It's not secure. And if you're sharing financial information on the web, be sure the site is secure. Make sure you look for the S in the URL. Tech experts say parents and children of any age can use emojis to set up a secret text code just in case of emergencies. They say an emoji can be used in situations where the person in danger can't make a call or somebody is watching them while they text. So why an emoji? If you discuss your plan and each emoji's meaning ahead of time, they're easy to remember, but they're harder for other people who aren't in on the plan to see through. Experts suggest using obscure emojis like the octopus, the mushroom, or the volcano, or the others on your screen. For example, one of those emojis can mean your teen has gone to a party at a friend's house and something is making them uncomfortable and they want to be picked up. And then the parent can send the same emoji back, letting them know that they're on the way. Older parents can use an emoji code. For an example, a caregiver, is being less than caring with them. You can use it in that situation. And experts say, however you use a secret emoji code, you should revisit your plan every few months just to make sure that everybody's on the same page. Imagine being on a boat heading to the Channel Islands when you notice some fins in the water, then a shark that's as long as an RV. This basking shark was spotted over the weekend in the Santa Barbara Channel. Now, for perspective, the boat in this video is 28 feet long. Basking sharks are more passive than great whites and tiger sharks, and they feed on plankton. Adult sharks can grow up to 45 feet long and weigh up to 10,000 pounds. Wow. Time revealed its Women of the Year list, and this year the list of 12 includes tennis star Coco Gauff, writer and director Greta Gerwig, poet Ada Limon, musician Andra Day, and actor Taraji P. Henson. The list of finalists also includes a scientist, an activist, the CEO of Chanel, and a labor economist. The reveal came 2 weeks prior to the 3rd annual Women of the Year Gala in Los Angeles on March 5th and 3 days ahead of the International Women's Day.
Dile, buenos días. Buenos días. Dodgers. Sí, buenos días, fanáticos.
¿Fanático?
Sí, fanáticos, fans.
¿Fanático?
Fanáticos.
Buenos días, fanático.
Sí. Llama.
Hey.
Buenos días. Buenos días.
Buenos días.
There you go. Buenos días, people.
Nice. Great job. That's Teoscar Hernandez teaching Shohei Ohtani and Yoshinobu Yamamoto how to say buenos dias to their fans. The Dodgers spring training game is getting underway in Glendale, Arizona. Ohtani will not be in the batting lineup for spring training because manager Dave Roberts says he needs a little more time to rehab his elbow, but he'll be ready by the opening of the regular season. And we can't wait to see the boys in blue in action. You can always get news and weather updates on the NBCLA app and our website, NBCLA.com. And be sure to tune into Today in LA on NBC4 weekdays 4 to 7 a.m. I'll be helping you get around with traffic reports throughout the morning. See you next time on The Rundown.